It's time once again for a check of the weather with Nebraska Extension ag climatologist and Market Journal chief meteorologist Al Dutcher. Al, we finally saw some scattered precipitation across the state, also a little bit of a cool down. What can we expect in the days ahead?
Well, Alex, we certainly did see some precipitation during this last week, and there was a few isolated spots that seen well over 2 inches, some in the extreme northeastern Nebraska along the Missouri River. The northwestern panhandle did exceptionally well. We had a lot of 1 to 2.5 inch totals for the entire week, and then a couple small pockets in central Nebraska. Unfortunately for a lot of folks, this precipitation event earlier in the week did not pan out nearly as much as was hoped, but we did see some pretty widespread 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch totals in a lot of areas. So a little bit of relief, but not the type of relief that we're looking for in terms of drought busting. Now, as we go forward in time, we're going to be looking at the system that's been moving through the upper Midwest this weekend and potentially another one next week. So as we go to the upper air models, first thing I'll draw your attention to is the cold front that came through the state on Thursday. The upper air low associated with it is basically sitting over southeastern Minnesota. It is expected to slowly drift toward the southeast over this next 2 days. That will keep much of eastern Nebraska in clouds and maybe just a scattering of light shower activity, but the bulk of that moisture will remain to our south and to our east. Then as we go into tomorrow, we start to see the ridge trying to encroach in. We're still going to stay in a relatively cool air mass, temperatures primarily in the eastern 2/3 of the state in the 80s. The heavier precipitation will be along the frontal axis with the trough, heavy precipitation down in Texas, Oklahoma, and the eastern Corn Belt. And then as we get into Monday, we start to see a warmer trend trying to develop, just slowly bringing that warmth from the west to the east. We're still going to be primarily in the middle 80s across the east. We're going to be around the upper 80s to low 90s across the west, and most of the precipitation once again remains to our south. Now on Tuesday, we start to get a little bit of a messier pattern. We do a low pressure system at the surface is expected to develop over South Dakota, and basically we will see a little bit of moisture starting to come up through the central Rockies, but nothing will wrap around the system to speak of. But by Wednesday, we start to see a little trough in the northern stream, and this will work its way toward the southeast. See a little low pressure developing over southeastern South Dakota. This will be the first initial moisture that will come with this system, scattered showers across the northern plains, not much in Nebraska, but by the time we get into next Thursday, we do see this trough starting to carve out an area across the northern plains with low pressure setting up, or expected to set up in northwestern Kansas. That will allow Gulf moisture to be wrapped around this system, and this will spread toward the southeast throughout the day, exiting the state as we get into early Friday as the main trough and energy itself starts to move toward the Great Lakes. Again, here's the low pressure on Friday morning over south central Iowa. That will pull that moisture toward the east of us, and we will see a little bit back up into the Black Hills region, but for the most part, all this precipitation should slide to our south and east. And as we go into the future, next Thursday, the following Tuesday, that cool air will remain in place to our south and to our east as high pressure ridge starts to build to the west. And in terms of precipitation, copious moisture to our south, below normal to our north. We're caught in the middle, so there is a chance, at least from the southwest half of the state, to see a period of above normal moisture. Looking a little bit farther out in the future, this is a preliminary outlook for the month of September, just issued Thursday morning. Below normal moisture across the northern plains, and in terms of precipitation, well above normal, so not the kind of forecast we're looking for.